hit that subscribe button, guys. Yo, you got guys out here, you know, giving Wilder a hard time. Giving Deontay Wilder a hard time. Talking a lot of shit. Talking a lot of shit because he was getting schooled. He was getting schooled against an old man, as they put it, against an old man like Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz was 39 years old. The first time Wilder fought an elite fighter, it was against an old elite fighter, and that old elite fighter was giving Wilder a boxing lesson. And what I find really odd about this is some of the same people saying this, or even some of the commentators saying this, would in the same token be kissing AJ's ass. Anthony Joshua's ass, that is. They'll be kissing his ass and saying and praising him for beating Wladimir Klitschko, the former heavyweight kingpin. What I don't understand about this is Wladimir Klitschko was old too. Wladimir Klitschko was an old man when he fought AJ. So how is it that you're going to chastise Deontay Wilder's performance and the way he looks flawed and the fact that he showed a lot of, weaknesses in his game against Luis Ortiz? How the hell are you going to chastise that? But then you're going to praise AJ when he was also quote unquote exposed against Wladimir Klitschko, who was also an old man. Matter of fact, he was older. He was older than AJ. Than Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz was 39? Wladimir Klitschko, matter of fact, what makes it even worse is Wladimir Klitschko was not just old, he was inactive. He hadn't fought in 20 months going into this fight? So he was an old fighter coming off one defeat, not having fought in 20 months. At least Luis Ortiz was active. Was Luis Ortiz a young fighter? No. But at least Luis Ortiz was active. At least Luis Ortiz was fighting. You get what I'm saying? Now this picture in the screen, I know he looks like Rocky Balboa, but this picture in the screen is actually Wladimir Klitschko when he was young. When he was in his prime. Now I'm not saying that Anthony Joshua couldn't have beaten a prime Wladimir Klitschko. I'm not saying that because Corey Sanders beat a prime Wladimir Klitschko. Lamont Brewster beat a prime Wladimir Klitschko. And I don't think that Corey Sanders or Lamont Brewster are better talents than Anthony Joshua. So I'm not saying that AJ couldn't beat a prime Wladimir Klitschko. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to chastise Deontay Wilder, if you're going to chastise him for having a hard time with Luis Ortiz, then you might as well also chastise Anthony Joshua for having a hard time against an old Wladimir Klitschko, because you can't just be praising Anthony Joshua. You can't be praising Anthony Joshua for going life and death with an old Wladimir Klitschko, but then chastising Deontay Wilder for going life and death with an old Luis Ortiz. It doesn't work like that. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, Wladimir Klitschko was a long reigning champion. He was a long reigning champion. Therefore, he gets more credibility than someone like Deontay Wilder. And you're right. He should get a little bit more credibility. But at the end of the day, Wladimir Klitschko was still an old fighter. It's kind of like when Mike Tyson beat Larry Holmes. Mike Tyson beat Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes was a unified champion. Larry Holmes was a long reigning champion. But Larry Holmes was old. Mike Tyson didn't beat a prime Larry Holmes. He didn't beat a 1980, 1979 version of Larry Holmes. He beat a washed up Larry Holmes who was coming off 2 losses, who hadn't fought in like 3 years. Yeah, I think he last fought in 1985, 1986, if I'm not mistaken, going into the Mike Tyson fight. And he fought Tyson in 88. So he was coming off at least a 2-year layoff. At least a 2-year layoff going into that fight. And I know Larry Holmes went on to, win some fights, but he never became dominant. So people say, well, Mike, you got to give Mike Tyson some credit. Because Larry Holmes went on to do this, do that. Not really. What did Larry Holmes go on to do? Beat Ray Mercer. That's it. After that, he went on to lose to everybody else. He never won. He never became a champion again. He was at the end of his career. At the end of the day, Mike Tyson beat an old Larry Holmes, not a prime Larry Holmes. So I'm just saying, guys. Wladimir Klitschko was old too. He was old too, man. Anyway, guys, subscribe for daily boxing videos as always. And I'm out. Thanks for watching.